You're watching NBC4, live from the area's leading news station. This is News 4 Today.
Right now, the calm before the storm, it looks okay, but just check out the radar. A gigantic winter storm will start pounding the Washington region in just a matter of hours. Good morning, everyone. I'm An Yang.
Good morning to you. I'm Joe Krebs, and thanks for waking up with us. We have a number of closings and early dismissals in anticipation of the storm. And first, an important change involving the federal government. The federal government will now be operating under an unscheduled leave policy today with a 4-hour early dismissal in effect. D.C. Public Schools will close at noon today.
In Virginia, many schools are closed today. They include Alexandria City, Arlington County, Fairfax County, Prince William County, and Loudoun County schools. They're all closed. Also closed today, Clark County, Culpeper County, Fauquier County, Frederick County, and King George County schools.
Manassas City, Manassas Park City, Orange County, Rappahannock County, and Spotsylvania County schools are also closed, as well as Stafford County, Warren County, and Winchester City schools all closed today.
In Maryland, Charles County schools are closed. Anne Arundel County schools will have a 2-hour early dismissal. Carroll County schools will close 2 hours and 45 minutes early today.
And we have not heard from Prince George's or Montgomery counties in Maryland.
Probably still trying to make some decisions today.
Yeah, because nothing's falling here now, but by the time children may be coming home from school, we could have 3 or 5 inches on the ground. So between now and then, we'll see some big changes. There's a look at the radar right now. Good morning, I'm meteorologist Tom Curine, and we do have some snow falling. Roanoke, southwestern Virginia into western North Carolina. South and west of there, it is all rain, moderate to heavy rain, in fact. The local radar now is showing perhaps just a few sprinkles, maybe a little bit of sleet in southern Maryland, that pink zone, St. Mary's County, the northern neck of Virginia, and a narrow band just south of Fredericksburg to near Charlottesville. And in the panhandle of West Virginia, they may be getting a few flurries at this time. And the temperatures are a little bit below freezing in most areas. It's a little above freezing in Washington and right near the Bay, but it's near 30 in Montgomery, Fairfax, and Prince George's counties, upper 20s to near 30 elsewhere. Huge area under a winter storm warning, all those counties in pink across Pennsylvania, all of Maryland, almost all of Virginia, much of West Virginia into the Ohio Valley. There's even a blizzard warning in effect for those counties in red, much of Delaware and southern New Jersey, with very strong winds from this storm, which could cause some considerable drifting and blowing of the snow. Well, here is the storm timeline. By 8 o'clock this morning, we'll probably have some light snow into the Shenandoah Valley, and here still locally, probably won't have any snow, maybe just a little flurry activity. Then by noontime, light snow to even moderate snow by mid-afternoon, then heavy snow coming in by 4 to 5 p.m. from the south and west, and we'll probably have by that time 2 or 3 inches on the ground. And then some very heavy snow coming in tonight that will be covering the entire region, and we could have on the ground by this time tomorrow morning up to a foot of snow. And then that very heavy snow will begin to move off to the north and east by 8 o'clock on Saturday morning, and then we'll still have those several more inches of snow to deal with during the day on Saturday. So here is the total I expect from this storm. 18 to 24 inches will be common throughout most of the region. Now that area of 20 to 30 inches, the 30-inch amounts may be right along the Blue Ridge, the eastern side of the Blue Ridge in Madison, Greene, Rappahannock, northern Fauquier, western Loudoun, and western Frederick County, Maryland. That area may get up to 30 inches and perhaps even a little higher up in the higher ridges there, but in the valleys around 20 to 25 inches there. So a major storm hitting the area all around the region. There may be somewhat lighter amounts in southern Maryland, lower part of the eastern shore and the northern neck, because it may mix with a little rain and sleet, but still, nonetheless, 12 to 18 inches there. So we'll have some winds as well, gusting to around 30 to 40 miles an hour, which will cause some of the drifting of the snow, and this is going to be heavy, wet snow. So right now we're in the 30s. We'll fall into the upper 20s after the snow begins. Then we will be below freezing all the way into Monday. So what falls is going to stay, and if you don't get it shoveled or plowed, it's going to turn to concrete. It's going to be very difficult to deal with. Now, Jerry, how's the traffic?
Tom, it's going to be a strange traffic day, I guarantee you. Right now, very light. Conditions out there, of course, clear and dry with no early hang-ups. It is going to be strange in that, of course, we may have a little bit of a rush hour, but with a lot of schools being off, some are closing early, depending upon what the feds are going to be doing. We could have a rush hour around noon, 1 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock. It's just something you'll have to be aware of if you're heading on out. You may find traffic a little bit strange throughout the day today. Of course, we'll keep you updated. Let's head over to Maryland along I-270. 70 northbound and southbound. Looking pretty good so far. Crews are out doing the preparations, and we'll be here all day long. Joe, on. Good morning.
Good morning to you, Jerry. Thanks very much. Well, the clock is ticking. If you don't have what you need to be stuck for a few days, you had better get moving.
Many stores are already sold out of the basics. News 4's Megan McGrath joins us from a 24-hour Giant in Rockville. Megan, I bet the shelves are already bare.
It looks like locusts have stripped certain sections of the store bare. I mean, it's incredible. But then there are other areas where they've gotten a shipment, obviously, and everything's perfect. So it kind of depends on what you want, what you're looking for. Now, this is a 24-hour Giant, and as you can see, the parking lot here, it's very early in the morning, but we have cars in the parking lot. There are actually folks inside who are grabbing those last-minute items. I mean, you don't want to get stuck in your house for days and not have the appropriate food, have the food to keep everybody happy. That could be a pretty miserable experience. So lots of folks coming out at the last minute, making sure they've got the milk, the bread, and all of that stuff. Now, if you are one of those last minute people, be aware that inventory is not what it normally is in every store all across our area. I mean, people have been shopping like crazy here over the last 24 hours. You go inside any store in our area and you are going to see that the produce aisle has been hit hard, milk, bread, all those kinds of staples. Ironically, the cheese aisle, I don't know what it is about cheese, but I was in the cheese aisle and it's just been stripped bare in certain cheddar cheese. What's that all about? Who knows? But people are buying all kinds of things, making sure that they're ready. And of course, it's not just the snowstorm. I mean, that's a big part of it, obviously. But we also have Super Bowl this weekend as well. So a lot of folks stacking up, hoping that they're going to still be able to have those Super Bowl gatherings. That remains to be seen. We'll have to see how much snow we get and whether or not your friends will be able to actually make it over to your house or not. But so people are kind of shopping for two events, for the snow as well as their Super Bowl parties on Sunday. So it remains to be seen what will happen with those parties. But I'll tell you what, they're restocking in there. They're getting ready for the next wave. They got tons of milk. They obviously got a shipment of milk because the milk case is perfect. But kind of wild to see the stores like this. Back to you all.
And Megan, cheese, you can make omelets, nachos. There's a reason why cheese is gone.
Yeah, but how much cheese can you eat
bread
over 3 days?
You could put cheese on the bread. I mean,
I guess.
I bet you that milk shelf won't be full for long, though.
No,
it's
probably
so
not.
funny because the milk case, not a bottle is missing. I mean, they obviously just got a shipment of milk because it's perfect.
All right,
Yeah,
give me a couple of gallons.
But the word goes out every time we have one of these events. You have to go on a milk and bread diet.
Exactly.
That's what
And toilet paper.
Right, exactly.
Well, that's right. Yeah, that's a necessity. I'm looking for the wine aisle. That's what I need.
All
If you
right,
find
Megan.
it, let me know. Thanks very much, Megan. Well, VDOT's still trying to clean up from the last two storms. Now crews are also getting ready for today's winter weather wallop. VDOT has already spent all of its snow removal money for this year, so it's tapping into a $25 million reserve fund. And even if that money runs out, VDOT says it will still clear the roads no matter the cost.
For those of you who live in the district, a snow emergency will take effect at 9:30 a.m. today. That means all cars must be moved from any snow emergency route. Once the snow starts, 270 trucks will be out salting and plowing the streets. D.C. Mayor Adrian Fenty says the city is ready, but it needs residents to cooperate.
Mainly, our snow emergency is to get assistance from people who normally park on snow emergency lanes. Those are your traditional rush hour routes and evacuation routes. No cars will be able to park there. We'll need them to plow all the way to the curb.
Once again, that snow emergency takes effect at 9:30 a.m. today. If you are parked on a snow emergency route after that time, your car will be ticketed and towed. The storm hasn't even hit yet, but it's already causing massive travel problems. Airlines are canceling flights ahead of the snow, and now travelers are stuck finding another way out of town. News 4's Jackie Benson continues our team coverage of this winter weather.
At Reagan National Airport, people angled for seats on what may be some of the last planes out and the last planes into the nation's capital ahead of a looming massive snowstorm. The baggage claim area was full of people who took advantage of relaxed airline ticket change policies to avoid the strong possibility of not being able to get back home once the storm hits.
I was supposed to be down in Tampa until tomorrow. I was attending a conference, but because of the weather, I decided to come back early so that I can handle this snow, because I know that I'm going to get swamped like everybody else in D.C.
I flew standby, actually. and got the last seat on this plane. So I'm very happy.
Giant snowplows were lined up in rows at BWI Thurgood Marshall Airport. 350 airport workers and contractors are on standby.
We're planning for the worst, but hoping for the best. At BWI, we will have snow crews here on hand starting Friday morning to help battle the elements. We'll be here to work to clear the runways and taxiways for our airlines and our passengers.
Officials in the district say trucks are already spreading salt and a liquid de-icing solution on bridges and other potentially icy spots. Mayor Adrian Fenty echoed the words of officials in Maryland and Virginia. Once this storm hits, please stay off the roads.
Almost without question be one of the biggest snowstorms that Washington, D.C. Has ever seen.
Jackie Benson, News 4 Today.
4:41 is your time now, 34 degrees. Hold on to your seats. We are just hours away from the start of the snowpocalypse. Coming up, why you may not even be able to rely on Metro to get around.
And a live look outside right now. It's pretty darn calm right now. We will check back in with Tom Curine with this special edition as it continues. Our time right now is 4:43, 34 degrees here in the nation's capital. Cloudy skies, getting ready for the big one to head our way.
That's right. Meteorologist Tom Curine has been tracking the storm. He's going to tell us when it's coming and how much. Hi, Tom.
Hi, Anna Jo. Good morning. As we look at the regional radar, there is a copious amount of precipitation from this storm. In the green and blue, that's rain. Where you see the pink and white, that's a combination of sleet and snow. And the leading edge of that is now into the southern Shenandoah Valley and near Roanoke. Right now, our radar showing a few scattered areas of some flurries, Panhandle, West Virginia, a little sleet and rain, southern Maryland and around the northern neck of Virginia. Temperatures right now are near or a little bit below freezing, now 34 degrees in Washington. So what's falling for the most part is going to stick. Winter storm warnings throughout the entire region, even a blizzard warning for the eastern shore in southern New Jersey. Now the timeline for the storm would have some light snow into the Shenandoah Valley by 8 o'clock this morning, into the metro area by around 10, 11 o'clock by noontime. Then some heavy snow moving in by mid-afternoon, and then overnight very heavy snow moving through the region, tapering off and ending during the day on Saturday. Total amounts 18 to 24 inches around Washington throughout most of the region. In fact, somewhat higher amounts around the Blue Ridge. And now, Jerry, how's the traffic?
Tom, not a lot to report on at this early hour. Obviously, the volume lighter than normal, but there are a few folks out and about this morning. 95 northbound and southbound, south of Dale City, between Dale City and Dumfries, moving along nicely. No early issues, so good news there. We'll see if that good news continues to the Wilson Bridge. Both directions, again, very light volume. In your travels this morning, if you are going out, just watch out for crews. They'll be out there doing their preparations for the storm, but right now, all is well. Joe, back to you.
Well, thank you, Jerry, very much.
4:45 is your time now, 34 degrees. We are just getting started with our snow coverage. You still have some time to get those last-minute supplies.
And coming up, what you better have inside your home before you do get trapped by the snow.
Stay with News 4 for continuing coverage. We'll be on the air with updates all day long.
Our time right now is 4:47, 13 minutes until 5 o'clock, 34 degrees here in the nation's capital. Beautiful picture of the Lincoln Memorial. No snow. Well, there's some lingering snow on the ground,
right,
but not like what we're going to see coming our way.
We have a number of closings and early dismissals in anticipation of this storm. First, an important change involving the federal government. The federal government will now be operating under an unscheduled leave policy today with a 4-hour early dismissal in effect. D.C. public schools will close at noon today.
Let's take a look at Virginia now. Many schools are closed already. They include Alexandria City, Arlington County, Fairfax County, Prince William County, and Loudoun County schools all closed. Also closed Clark County, Culpeper County, Fauquier County, Frederick County, and King George County in Virginia closed.
Manassas City, Manassas Park City, Orange County, Rappahannock County, and Spotsylvania County schools are also closed, as well as Stafford County, Warren County, Winchester, and Fredericksburg schools all closed today.
Let's take a look at Maryland. Charles County schools are closed. Anne Arundel County schools will have a 2-hour early dismissal. Carroll County schools will close 2 hours, 45 minutes early today.
And in West Virginia, Berkeley, Hampshire, Hardee, Jefferson, and Mineral County schools are closed. Morgan County schools are also closed today.
Well, this heavy snow this weekend is expected to have a major effect on Metro service. Metro will open on time today at 5 o'clock in about 10 minutes or 11 minutes. Operate on a normal schedule today. It will continue to run normally today until there are 8 inches of snow on the ground. After that, all above-ground service will be shut down.
Given what the anticipated snow total amounts are going to be for the weekend, it is highly probable that we will suspend all of our above-ground rail service for the entire weekend. And it is also highly probable that we will suspend all of our Metro bus and Metro Access service, certainly all day Saturday, and that could extend into Sunday as well.
Now, if above-ground rail service is suspended, Metro will operate on a modified underground schedule with trains running only every 30 minutes. 4:50 right now. Take a minute right now to grab a pen and paper, because coming up, the numbers you're going to need if your power goes out. Plus,
for your car, make sure you top off the gas. Get some washer fluid. You may want to even get some new wipers. Put a shovel in the trunk. And when you're done all that, maybe the best thing to do is park in your driveway.
That's what you need in your car. Our Pat Collins will show us what else you should have on hand next.
.52 is the time, 8 minutes until 5 o'clock, 34 degrees. Welcome back to News 4 Today. We do have a note about Montgomery County schools now.
Montgomery County schools are closing 2.5 hours early today. Again, Montgomery County schools closing 2.5 hours early. Fairfax County schools are also closed. We're still waiting to hear about Prince George's County schools. And D.C. schools are closing at noon today.
And Tom Kieran has joined us here in the studio to talk about the forecast for as the snow moves in. Tom.
Well, it's not snowing yet, but southern Maryland, northern neck of Virginia getting a little bit of rain and sleet perhaps beginning there. At this hour, just cloudy in Washington. Temperature now at 34 degrees. But look at the radar. Regional radar is showing a broad area of precipitation. There is the city camera showing the Lincoln Memorial under a cloudy sky. 34 at Reagan National. The radar is showing some snow now around Roanoke and Lynchburg and the southern Shenandoah Valley. Blacksburg, they're getting some snow now down into western North Carolina. That's the white zone. Where you see the blues and greens, that is moderate to heavy rain that is continuing to advance up out of the Gulf of Mexico. That is the moisture that is going to be giving us our incredible amounts of snow that we've been talking about the last couple of days. We're still on track for that. Right now, we are getting a little bit of sleet and rain in southern Maryland, northern neck, that pink zone, as well as perhaps a little sleet and snow out here in the panhandle of West Virginia. But no precipitation here right around Washington, where temperatures are just a little above freezing, near 30 in Prince George's County, Montgomery, Arlington, Fairfax counties, right around 30 degrees. And it's in the upper 20s to near 30 around the Blue Ridge and Shenandoah Valley in southern Maryland as well. So what is falling down there is going to begin to stick. Well, look at this large area, winter storm warning out all these counties in pink, and from the Ohio Valley all the way to New Jersey, and from Pennsylvania all the way down to the Carolinas. And we're right in the middle of that. Blizzard warnings farther to the east for some very strong winds from this storm. Look at all the moisture farther down to the south and west of us coming in, streaming off the Gulf of Mexico. That is only going to be enhanced by moisture coming in off of the Atlantic as we see two areas of low pressure. Now, the primary low pressure system is going to be this one here. These areas of yellow could be some very heavy rain. This is by 8 o'clock this evening. By this time, right around Washington, we'll probably have 3 to 5 inches of snow on the ground and maybe a little bit of a mix of some rain and sleet farther south and east. And then as we get into Saturday morning, Friday night from 6 p.m. to Saturday morning, 6 a.m. is when we'll have the heaviest amounts of snow, maybe mixing with a little sleet here in southern Maryland, eastern shore, southeastern Virginia. But this will be the primary low-pressure system that will provide tremendous amounts of wind here for the eastern shore. And it's going to be a very tight wind field, it appears. As this system pulls away, we'll have winds diminishing here. So thankfully, we won't have the really strong winds in Washington to points west and north. And this will quickly end by Saturday afternoon and evening and then clearing out for Sunday. So here is how it's looking here, the timeline for this storm. We'll probably have the light snow into the Shenandoah Valley by 8 o'clock this morning, then by noontime into Washington area. Then heavy snow moving in by mid-afternoon, and by sunset, 3 to 5 inches on the ground. And then overnight, very heavy snow moving throughout the entire region. It could be snowing at the rate of 1 to 2 inches an hour. for maybe 12 hours. So this is really going to be a lot of snow in a short amount of time. And then as we get into Saturday morning, some of that heavy snow will be moving off north and east, the very heavy part of it. Well, we'll have then total amounts of about 18 to 24 inches in Washington, a paralyzing snowstorm, even higher amounts perhaps around the higher elevations near the Shenandoah Valley. They could see up to 30 inches there. And then on Sunday, we get the sunshine back, but very cold and cold into Monday as well. So it's going to stay. Jerry, how's the traffic?
Time to take a live look. Top side of the Capitol Beltway, and we'll start with the 14th Street Bridge. 395 northbound, very light volume of traffic. No worries all the way into town, and all lanes are open. The outbound side looking good. Let's head over and check the top side of the Beltway. Both the inner loop and outer loop between I-95 and 355 looking good. Joe?
All right, thanks very much, Jerry. Well, power companies are getting ready for possible widespread outages in our area over the weekend. They'll have service work crews working throughout the weekend, but they won't know where to go unless you call. Dominion Virginia Power customers should call 1-888-667-3000 to report an outage. Pepco customers should call 1-877-737-2662. BGE customers should call 1-800-685-0123 if they have an outage or see any sparking lines to report.
Virginia lawmakers are taking a snow day ahead of the storm. Both the House of Delegates and the Senate have canceled today's floor sessions in anticipation of the winter weather.
Well, area residents are getting ready for the possibility of being stuck at home for a day or two, or perhaps even longer.
News 4's Pat Collins has more about all of those last-minute preparations.
Going to snow.
Going to snow.
Going to snow. It's going to be big. How big? Real big. How big? It's going to break the record.
So what do you think it's going to be?
I don't predict snow, women, or elections.
The milk here, the milk here is selling like hotcakes. How many days supply is this?
Well, we've got a family, we've got 2 dogs, so I hope so.
Ground turkey, fresh turkey, turkey breast, chicken tenders, chicken breast, slim pickings.
Hey, it's a tough time right now.
But you got what you need?
Yeah.
You're going to make it?
Oh, yeah. I even got my snowblower today, too.
For your car, make sure you top off the gas. Get some washer fluid. You may want to even get some new wipers. Put a shovel in the trunk. And when you're done all that, maybe the best thing to do is
park in your driveway.
The Costco parking lot in Arlington. Cars are lining up, backed into the street, waiting just to get into the parking lot. Cars at the ready, hoping that someone will pull out so they can get that space. Cars over there, cars down there. And that's just the parking lot. Imagine what it's like inside.
Chaotic.
That's busy. It's been a pain in the butt.
It's terrible in there. The lines are outrageous. I think you hear the word snow and everybody starts panicking, but they said it's going to be a big one. I haven't seen one like this since the 70s, I think.
I'm Pat Collins, News 4 Today.
I just love Pat Collins. I just have to say that. Stay tuned, everyone. News 4 at 5 starts right now.
You're watching NBC4, live from the area's leading news station. This is News 4 Today.
Here it comes again. A major storm is already dumping snow to the south, and it will hit our area in a matter of hours. The only question, will it be one for the